Hi, the objective of this video is just to show some alternative stretches for the front of the thigh and the quadriceps. So for example, if you find this kind of one-legged quadricep stretch where you're hanging onto your foot and pressing your pelvis forwards uncomfortable, or the version of this stretch lying down uncomfortable on your knees, here's some alternatives. We'll do a few stretches lying down on our mat, some in a seated position, and some using a chair. All right, so the first one, we'll start off. So if you're including this as part of your waking up stretch series, one of the easiest ways to stretch out the front of your hip is just to start in a lying down position. And if you're having a pillow underneath your head when you're stretching, by all means you can keep it there, but if it starts to compromise the position of your neck and leads to like curving your upper spine forwards, I would advise to get rid of the pillow. All right, for the first one, you're just going to draw one knee in towards your chest, interlace your fingers. The other leg stays nice and straight and long because you're trying to stretch out the front of the hip on the straight side. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, gently use your arms to pull that thigh in towards your chest, just letting the long straight leg, just relax into the ground. Make sure as you're pulling that you're not drawing your shoulders forwards, you're letting your shoulders relax. And just using your arm strength to pull that leg in towards you. If you want to add in some ankle circles for that leg that you have pulled in, you can do that too and work on your ankle mobility a little bit. Breathe, relax, hold. And then when you're done with this side, maybe 15 to 30 seconds or longer if you prefer, you can release. Relax. Try the other side. Interlace your fingers. Draw your thigh in towards you. Relax your long, straight leg. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and pull gently. Remember, not drawing your shoulders forwards, letting your shoulders just relax into the ground. And if you want to add in those ankle circles as a little bonus, you can do that. Make sure you go both directions. Beautiful. So that's one way to stretch out the front of your hip. If you want to try something different, you can. Press your feet into the ground. So you're going to bend your knees. And we're going to have our heels just underneath our knees. Our feet are just about hip width apart. For this one, I recommend moving the pillow back unless your pillow is quite thin. Just because if I keep my pillow here, I'll just do it with the pillow behind my head to show you. So if I'm going to press my hips up, I really kind of jam my chin into my chest and curve my upper spine in a way that's not really comfortable for me. So I'm going to take the pillow out so I can keep my upper back sort of a little bit more neutral. I'm going to gently press my feet into the floor, or if you're on your bed, gently press into your mattress and just be careful. Shoulders just stay relaxed. Press those feet into the ground, and then just gently press your hips up. Inhale, exhale, breathe, and then just come on back down. So you can keep this one. You can press up, and you can hold, or you can gently just kind of come in and out of it. Gently press your pelvis forwards, and then back down. And then press up again. And then come on back down. You can do as many reps as is comfortable for you. Maybe 5 to 8 repetitions would be good. And just relax. And then after you've done this one, if you want to sort of release your lower back just a little bit, you can even draw both thighs in towards your chest. Hang on to your knees, or hang on to your shins just below your knees. And you can even just rock gently side to side, or you can do some circles with your knees. And then go the other way. Nice. Sometimes if we focus on just relaxing our lower back, it might help with relaxing our quads as well, and then in turn, easing the pressure on our knees. We're going to release. The next one we'll do, we're just going to come on up into a seated position. So we're going to avoid this one, and then we're going to come up to a nice seated position. Just like this. So if you're on your bed, just make sure you're nice and stable. You can move your legs into sort of a little S kind of a shape, just like that. From here, I'm going to take my hands, and I'm just going to put them behind me, just gently. I'm going to lean back a little bit, and then as I'm leaning back, I'm going to press my bum slightly forwards, just like that. It's just a small little stretch for the front of the hip. If this doesn't feel good on your knees, just avoid maybe one of the other ones is a little bit better of a choice for you. So we'll try this one, see how it feels. And then release. And then when you're ready, you're going to come on over and do the same thing on the other side. So kind of an S shape. So from the side, just like that. Gently lean back slightly. Press your hip forwards just a little bit. And you might feel a little stretch down the front of your hip, even into the front of your thigh. Just like that. It's a nice gentle stretch. There are variations, of course, where you can lean way back and bring your hands down behind you You can lie your back down to the ground. For this one, we're just keeping it gentle, so gently press your pelvis forwards. All right, excellent. So the next one we'll do, you would do these ones if you have a mat, you'd bring it down to your floor, and it's just a half kneeling stretch. So I'm gonna come on up to my knees. So for this one, I'm gonna put one leg in front of the other. So from the front, it just looks like that. If your knees are sensitive on the floor, you can make sure you have a really squishy mat, or you can even kind of double up your mat, or if you have a pillow, you could choose to use a pillow. My pillow is really puffy, so I don't want to compromise my balance, so I'm just gonna double up my mat. So I'm here, I'm just gonna show you sort of from a diagonal so you can see what it looks like. So we're just like that. Make sure that this front foot isn't crossing way over. Each thigh has its own path. From here, you can make a slightly bigger step if you like, and then just lean forwards just a little bit. And a little stretch down the front of your thigh. Now, of course, there's variations where you can grab onto your foot and pull it up and balance, but we're keeping it gentle, so just pushing your pelvis slightly forwards. A little bit of a stretch down the front of that thigh. Inhale, exhale. As you breathe out, you might want to press your pelvis just a little bit forwards. Make sure that you stay in a range where you are not verging into an area of pain. If something is painful, it's probably not helping you. Choose something different. All right, so you come on up. Once you've done one side, you can try the other side. You can change sides however you like. So if you need to put your hands down on the ground, go for it. If you just want to try working your balance, you can just change without using hands. So here we go. Inhale, exhale. If you find that you are kind of feeling a little awkward, so for example, I'll show you a common error is having that foot kind of too close, and then you're like, oh, I can't seem to get a stretch. Move the front foot out a little bit more so that you have room to move. Move forward slightly. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Inhale, exhale, push a little further if it's comfortable. The goal is just a gentle stretch, nothing very uncomfortable, nothing painful. Excellent. So we'll come on up. So the next one we'll do, you can see if this one works for you, and if it doesn't, choose something different. So I'm gonna come on down back to the ground. I'm gonna unroll my mat. You might choose to keep yours folded up if you want. All we're going to do is just go into a kneeling position. So it'll just be just like this. And this might be enough of a little stretch for your thighs. If you prefer, if it's more comfortable, you can move your thighs out just a little bit. You can even move your feet a little bit apart. This might be enough of a stretch. If you need a little bit more, you can take your hands super gently behind you. And then just gently press your pelvis forwards just a little bit. Super small little press forwards. And come on back out of it. If you want to go a little higher, if your wrists are feeling okay back there, you can lift your hips up off your heels just a little bit. A little stretch for the front of your hips into your quads. Again, if it doesn't feel good, ease out of it. Maybe just keep it smaller. You stay here, just a slight little press forwards, or maybe this one's just enough for you. All right. We're going to move on to some other ones. So this next ones we're going to do is we're going to use a chair. So I'm going to take my mat and just put it out of the way here. There's a few different variations you can do using a chair. I'm just going to grab a sturdy dining chair. Make sure you have a chair that is not too flimsy, so something that's not going to fall over. So this first one, similar to the one we just did, except we're just going to do it in a seated position on a chair. So from here, I'm going to show one leg at a time and then two legs. So for this one, you kind of have to scooch your bum to the front of the chair. So make sure, again, it's not a chair that's really flimsy, it isn't going to fall over. So scooch to the front. I'm going to take one foot behind and kind of push it underneath the chair. Let my knee drop down towards the ground. For this one, you need to lean back a little bit, and you might even feel like you need to slouch a little bit through your upper body. As you're doing that, press your knee down towards the floor, and then press your bum slightly forward, and you might feel a little stretch down the front of your thigh. Inhale. Exhale, hold 10 to 15 seconds, maybe a little bit longer if it feels okay. And then release. And then come on up, and you can try the same thing with the other leg. And keep in mind that one leg might feel natural and easy, and the other leg might feel a little bit different. And that's okay. And come on down. At the front of our chair, knee points down towards the ground. Lean back slightly. You might feel you need to bring your shoulders forward a little bit. Press that pelvis slightly forwards. Inhale, exhale, relax. Excellent. So another version of that one, if those ones feel okay for you and you want to try, Be careful with this and really make sure that your chair is sturdy. So you're out towards the edge of your chair. Instead of just bringing one foot back, you bring both feet back. So what you need to do to make this one work is to lean back first, then bring one foot and then the other one, and then press forward slightly. If this is not comfortable for you, if you feel like you're gonna fall, please don't do this one. Here, and then release. Gently bring your feet back one at a time, and then come on up. All right, so here's a different version. So for this one, I'm gonna turn more sideways so you can see. So for this one, I'm gonna scooch over to one side of my chair. I'm still relatively close to the front of my chair. I'm gonna, almost like one half of your bum is kind of off the chair. Make sure that you are using your chair for support, so you're not gonna fall off one or the other. So I'm hanging onto the other side of my chair. One knee goes down, and I am in this sort of a zigzag kind of a shape. Press that pelvis slightly forwards. Over here. It's similar, there's a standing stretch that's similar to this one. You've probably seen it if you go to any exercises classes. They often do this one, where they're here. And it's really a similar thing. Just using a chair for support, just like that. And if you feel more comfortable, you can always turn your chair this way. And maybe you can even hang on to the back for a little bit of help. So here, inhale, exhale, relax. Knee points down to the ground. Make sure your knee's not flared out to the side. You're up in the ball of your foot, if it's comfortable for your foot. Nice. And then release. And then you can try the same thing other side. So again, I have my chair here. You could have it turned the other way if it's more comfortable. So one half of your bum is kind of off. Using your chair for support, make sure you have a strong chair. One foot comes back, follow the foot, and then press your knee down towards the ground. And press your pelvis forward slightly. Again, inhale, exhale, relax. Shoulders are relax, breathing. Make sure your jaw is relaxed. Sometimes I tighten up my jaw when I'm stretching. Relax. Excellent. All right, we'll release that one. Come on up. So the next one, we're going to do standing using the chair. So there's a couple of different variations of this one. This one I see really often shown online. So this one, you're here. So here's my chair. And then, let's say I'm standing here. And then I put my knee on the chair. And then I press my pelvis forwards. If your leg is the perfect size for your chair, if your height works out and it's all great, it's fine. But for me, because I'm kind of on the short side, it's not ideal. I'll show you what happens to me when I do this one. Here, my hip is kind of adjusted, and if I push my hip down, my knee hurts on the other side. It's not a great stretch for me. So if your thigh can be straight down to the ground, so maybe if I was a little taller, my thigh, imagine I'm taller, so I'm going above the foot. If your thigh is pointing straight from your hip down to your chair, you can use this one, and then you would just press your pelvis forward slightly. As I say, for me, this is not great because I have one hip hitched up because I'm just not tall enough to do this stretch properly with this particular chair. I could find a better chair, I could grow a couple inches, or I could choose a different stretch. So this one might work for you, it doesn't work for me. So if that one works for you, of course you do one side, and then you come around, and then you try the same thing on the other side. If you're like me, and maybe you don't like that one, or if that one just doesn't work for you, there's another sort of a variation that you can do. For this one, you might need to use a wall for support, just to make sure that you have your balance. So I'm gonna bring my chair over here. Actually, I'm gonna do it this way, just like that, and you can see. So I'm gonna stand in front of the chair. I'm gonna use a wall for support. I'm gonna take one leg, and I'm gonna put my foot on the chair like that. So I'm gonna show you from the side what it looks like. So it's like that. I'm in front of the chair. I'm using a wall. You can grab another chair, maybe the back of your couch, whatever you got going. Put one foot on the chair. So I'm here, and I'm just letting my foot relax into the floor. Supporting knee is soft. Make sure it's not locked out. Sometimes if we lock on our knees, we end up hyperextending our lower back and letting our abdominals go. So nice neutral spine. Foot is on the chair. And then just let your knee drop down towards the ground. You might want to move yourself a little bit forward. So if you're comfortable, you can find yourself a little bit more forwards. Wall for support, other chair, whatever you got. Knee presses down towards the ground. Press your pelvis forward. So it's sort of a variation of that standing one leg quad stretch or the lying down one leg quad stretch. So we're using a chair. Inhale, exhale, relax. You can try working your balance if you like. So if you're using a wall for support, make sure you're not leaning on that wall or that chair. Not using it as a crutch, just using it as a little support. You can try just finding your balance and see how you can hold your balance. Check your supporting foot. Make sure you're not rolling to one side or the other. Try not to crunch up your toes. Imagine 2 points of pressure on your forefoot and 1 in your heel. Nice. You can try the other side. So keep my pillow out of the way. So I'm here. Set yourself up. If you have a wall or a chair, use it. Over here. If you're twisted, straighten out yourself. So imagine if I had 2 headlights on my hips, I want them to face front. Knee points down towards the floor. So I'm going to show you one just other angle. So my chair is behind me. And I'm here. So notice I'm not out here. Knees are pointing down towards the ground. I need to just adjust a little bit. Press the pelvis forward. So if I had headlights on my hips, they're pointing straight out that way. So make sure they're not off one side or the other. Inhale, exhale, relax. Supporting knees soft. Use your wall or your chair, whatever you have to help yourself balance. Test your balance out a little bit. Check in with that foot. Make sure you're not rolling out or rolling in. 2 points of pressure in your forefoot, 1 in your heel. Shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, and just relax into it. Press that pelvis slightly forward, so press your bum just a little bit forwards. And relax. Beautiful. And release. I'm going to come on down. So there's lots of reasons why we have sore knees when we're doing stretches. You might have tight quads, you might have a tight lower back, you might have some damage in your knees that you just need to let heal. There's so many different ways that you can help yourself. You can go see a chiropractor or massage therapist. You can gently try some stretches on your own. And everybody's plan is unique, so take care of yourself. Stay strong. Good job.